Hello, and welcome to my channel.
William Thompson was a young journalist with a burning passion for cinema. He had spent countless hours in darkened theaters, lost in the magic of the silver screen. But his true love lay in the artistry of the silent film era, where actors had to rely on their expressions and body language to convey emotions. One man stood out among the rest, capturing William's heart with his iconic character, the tramp. That man was Charlie Chaplin. So you can imagine William's excitement when he received an invitation to interview the legendary Charlie Chaplin himself. It was a dream come true for the aspiring journalist. The letter arrived on a crisp autumn morning, and as he read the words, a surge of adrenaline coursed through his veins. He could hardly believe it. He was going to meet the man who had brought so much joy to millions. William's admiration for Charlie's work ran deep. He had studied every film, dissecting each scene and marveling at the brilliance of Chaplin's physical comedy. But what intrigued him even more was the enigma behind the character. Who was the man behind the tramp? What inspired him? What were his struggles and triumphs? This interview was an opportunity to peel back the layers and discover the real Charlie Chaplin. The day of the interview arrived, and William found himself driving through the winding roads of Beverly Hills. As he approached the grand gates of Charlie Chaplin's mansion, his heart skipped a beat. The wrought iron gates swung open, revealing a sweeping driveway lined with perfectly manicured hedges and vibrant flowers. It was a sight straight out of a fairy tale. Stepping out of his car, William took a moment to absorb the grandeur that surrounded him. The mansion stood tall and proud, its white facade gleaming in the sunlight. The air was filled with a sense of anticipation, as if the very walls held the secrets of Hollywood's golden age. Just as William was about to make his way up the marble steps, a man in a black suit and white gloves appeared at his side. It was Mr. Jenkins, Charlie Chaplin's butler. With a warm smile, he extended a hand. "Welcome, Mr. Thompson," Mr. Jenkins said in a deep, soothing voice. "Mr. Chaplin is expecting you. Please follow me." William followed Mr. Jenkins through the grand entrance, his footsteps echoing on the polished marble floors. The walls were adorned with vintage movie posters and photographs capturing moments from Charlie Chaplin's illustrious career. The air was tinged with nostalgia, as if the ghosts of silent film legends still lingered in the halls. Please support my channel by liking and subscribing. As William stepped further into Charlie Chaplin's mansion, he felt as if he had been transported back in time. Vintage furniture adorned every room, each piece telling a story of its own. The soft glow of chandeliers illuminated the elegant decor, casting a warm ambience that wrapped around him like a comforting embrace. The walls were adorned with black and white photographs capturing moments of laughter and joy. There was Charlie, surrounded by fellow actors and directors from the silent film era. Each image captured a piece of history, frozen in time for all to admire. William couldn't help but feel a sense of awe as he walked through the mansion. He imagined the conversations that had taken place within these walls, the laughter that had echoed through the rooms. This was more than just a house, it was a sanctuary for creativity and imagination. Finally, the moment arrived. William found himself standing face to face with the man who had inspired him for so long. Charlie Chaplin stood before him, his eyes twinkling with mischief and wisdom. There was an undeniable charisma about him, a magnetism that drew people in. "Ah, Mr. Thompson," Charlie said with a smile. "I've been looking forward to our conversation. Come, have a seat." William followed Charlie into a cozy study, where shelves lined with books and film reels filled the room. The walls were adorned with framed posters of Charlie's most iconic films, each one capturing a moment of magic. As they settled into their seats, Charlie leaned back, crossing his legs and folding his hands on his lap. He exuded an air of confidence and ease, as if he had been born to captivate audiences. "So, young man," Charlie began, his voice rich with nostalgia. "Tell me, what brings you here today? What questions do you have for an old man like me?" William couldn't help but feel a rush of excitement. This was his chance to learn from the master himself, to uncover the secrets behind the brilliance of the tramp. As the interview progressed, guests began to arrive at Charlie Chaplin's mansion. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement, as if the very air crackled with anticipation. Famous actors, directors, and writers from the silent film era graced the party, their faces etched with the wisdom of years gone by. William watched as these legends mingled and exchanged stories, their laughter filling the air. It was a sight to behold, witnessing the camaraderie and genuine connection among these pioneers of cinema. They were bound by a shared love for the art form, a bond that transcended time. As the night wore on, the mansion came alive with conversations and laughter. William found himself in the midst of it all, engaging in discussions with guests who had worked alongside Charlie Chaplin. They shared stories of their time on set, of the challenges they faced, and the triumphs they celebrated. It was a treasure trove of hidden stories and personal anecdotes, each one adding another layer to the tapestry of Hollywood's history. Charlie Chaplin was not only a master of the silver screen, he was also a master of entertainment. Throughout the evening, he delighted his guests with his talent for physical comedy and hilarious skits. His face became a canvas, expressing a myriad of emotions with the slightest twitch of his eyebrow or the curve of his lips. At one point, Charlie took center stage in the grand ballroom, captivating everyone with his comedic genius. He danced with grace and precision, his movements fluid and effortless. The room erupted in applause and laughter as Charlie's infectious energy filled every corner. But it wasn't just his physicality that captivated the crowd, it was his ability to connect with people on a deeper level. Through his skits and performances, he touched something within each person, reminding them of the joy and laughter that resided within their own hearts. As the night progressed, William found himself engaged in conversations that delved deeper into the impact of Charlie Chaplin's comedic genius. Guests spoke of how his films had touched their lives, bringing laughter and relief during times of hardship. They shared personal stories of watching his movies in crowded theaters, where laughter became a collective experience that transcended language barriers and social divides. One guest, an elderly actress with a twinkle in her eye, leaned in closer to William. "You see, young man," she said, her voice filled with nostalgia, "Charlie had this remarkable ability to make us forget our troubles. For those brief moments, we were transported into a world where laughter reigned supreme. And in that laughter, we found solace." William nodded, captivated by her words. He had always known that comedy had the power to uplift and heal, but hearing it spoken by those who had lived through the golden age of silent films brought a new level of understanding. As the night wore on, William witnessed firsthand the power of laughter to bring people together. In this grand mansion, filled with guests from different walks of life, laughter became the common language that connected them all. It didn't matter if they spoke different tongues or hailed from different corners of the world. In that moment, they were united in joy. Charlie Chaplin's talent for comedy had touched the lives of millions, but it was in this intimate gathering that William truly understood the magnitude of his impact. Laughter had a way of breaking down barriers, of reminding us of our shared humanity. It was a universal language that could bridge the gaps between cultures and generations. As William looked around the room, he saw smiles and heard laughter. He saw people from all walks of life, coming together to celebrate the legacy of a man who had dedicated his life to bringing joy to others. It was a sight he would never forget. The night drew to a close, but the impact of Charlie Chaplin's comedic genius lingered in the air. William couldn't help but reflect on the transformative power of laughter. He had seen how it could bring joy and relief to those facing adversity, how it could uplift spirits and heal wounded hearts. Through his conversations with guests, William had gained a deeper understanding of Charlie's personal struggles and triumphs. He had learned about the challenges he faced as an artist, the battles he fought against censorship and societal expectations. But through it all, Charlie had never lost sight of his mission, to bring laughter to a world that so desperately needed it. As William made his way home that night, he couldn't shake the feeling of gratitude that filled his heart. He had witnessed something truly special, something that went beyond mere entertainment. Charlie Chaplin's comedic genius had left an indelible mark on society, reminding us all of the power of laughter to transform lives. In the days that followed, William found himself reflecting on his experience at Charlie Chaplin's house. The interview had been a turning point in his career, but it had also been a turning point in his understanding of comedy and its impact on the world. He realized that laughter was not just a fleeting moment of amusement, it was a force that could shape society, heal wounds, and bring people together. Charlie Chaplin had dedicated his life to harnessing that force, using his talent for comedy to create genuine connections among people from different backgrounds. As William sat at his desk, surrounded by stacks of notes and memories from that unforgettable night, he couldn't help but feel a sense of nostalgia. The golden age of silent films had come and gone, but its legacy lived on in the hearts of those who had experienced it. And so, with a renewed appreciation for Charlie Chaplin's comedic genius and the power of laughter, William set out to share the stories he had uncovered. He wanted to remind the world of the transformative power of comedy, to honor the legacy of a man who had dedicated his life to bringing joy to others. And as he typed away, the words flowing from his fingertips, he couldn't help but smile. For in that moment, he knew that he was part of something greater than himself. He was part of a legacy that would continue to bring laughter and joy to generations to come.